Hello everyone, today we stand at the blood-soaked crossroads of ancient Chinese history to dissect the single most catastrophic empire-ending battle that turned the tide of the Qin dynasty's reign of terror, the Battle of Julu. This is not just a fight for a besieged city, it is a raw, unflinching collision of tyrannical imperial power, revolutionary fury, and a suicidal military gambit that would erase the Qin's 400,000-strong elite army and condemn the first unified Chinese empire to total collapse. Set in 207 BC, amid the chaos of widespread uprisings against Qin's brutal rule, this battle is etched into history as the ultimate underdog victory, a masterclass in psychological warfare, and the death knell for a regime built on fear, oppression, and unchecked authoritarianism. To understand its earth-shattering importance, we must first step back into the suffocating despair of the Qin Empire's final days. By 208 BC, the Qin war machine, once unstoppable under Qin Shi Huang, had been unleashed to crush every spark of rebellion across the land. General Chu-Han, the Qin's most ruthless and effective commander, had just annihilated the rebel army of Xiang, uncle of Xiang, and the most formidable rebel leader of the time, at the Battle of Dingtao. Fresh from this victory, Chu-Han marched his 200,000-strong army north, linking up with General Wang Li's 200,000 veteran border troops, the elite Great Wall garrison that had spent decades fighting off Xiongnu invaders. Together, this 400,000-strong Qin juggernaut laid siege to Julu, the capital of the rebel Zhao state, trapping King Zhao Tie and his forces inside walls, starved of food and ammunition. The Qin plan was cold and calculated: crush Zhao first, then eliminate every other rebel state, one by one, restoring total control over China. The rebel alliance responded with panic. King Huang of Chu dispatched a relief army, led by Song Yi, a cautious, power-hungry noble, named Supreme Commander, with Xiang Yu as his second-in-command. But Song Yi was no warrior. He was a political schemer who saw the Qin army as unbeatable. He halted his 50,000 troops at Anyang and refused to advance for 46 straight days, feasting and drinking, while his soldiers shivered in cold rain, hungry and exhausted. His logic was cowardly and self-serving. Let the Qin and Zhao wear each other down, then march in to claim victory with minimal losses. He even sent his son to ally with the Qi state, prioritizing personal power over saving the besieged rebels at Julu. For Xiang Yu, a warrior born for battle and driven by vengeance for his uncle's death, this inaction was unforgivable. On the 47th day, Xiang Yu stormed into Song Yi's tent, beheaded him on the spot, and declared to the troops that Song Yi had betrayed the rebellion by conspiring with Qi. The soldiers, fed up with Song Yi's cowardice, hailed Xiang Yu as their true commander, and King Huang had no choice but to officially appoint him supreme leader of the Chu relief force. With command secured, Xiang Yu turned his unyielding will to the impossible task ahead: 50,000 exhausted rebels against 400,000 of the Qin's finest soldiers, dug in around Julu and protected by a fortified supply road called a Yongdao, a walled corridor that kept Wang Li's army fed and armed. Xiang Yu knew conventional warfare would mean certain defeat. So he devised a tactic so bold, so final, that it would become one of history's most iconic acts of martial resolve, breaking cauldrons and sinking boats. First, he sent General Yingbu and General Pu, with 20,000 troops across the Jiang River, to launch lightning raids on the Qing Yongdao, cutting Wang Li's supply line and sowing chaos in the Qing ranks. Then, in December 207, BC, Xiang Yu led his remaining 30,000 soldiers across the river himself, and issued an order that left no room for retreat. He commanded his men to smash all cooking cauldrons, burn every tent and shelter, and sink every single boat they had used to cross the river. Each soldier was given only 3 days of rations. There would be no going back, no resupply, no surrender. The message was seared into every soldier's heart: win or die, here today at Julu. This was not just military strategy, it was psychological warfare at its most brutal, stripping away all hope of escape and forging a desperate, unbreakable fighting spirit. When the Chu army reached Julu, they found dozens of rebel allied camps lining the hills, filled with tens of thousands of troops from Yan, Qi and other states, all too terrified to engage the Qin, watching from the walls like spectators at a death match. The Qin soldiers, arrogant and battle-hardened, laughed at the small ragged Chu force, convinced they would be slaughtered in minutes. What happened next defied every expectation of ancient warfare. Xiang Yu led his men in a relentless non-stop assault, charging the Qin lines 9 times in 3 days without rest. The Chu soldiers, with no retreat and no food beyond 3 days, fought with a ferocity the Qin had never encountered, every man fought as if his life depended on it, because it did. They targeted Wang Li's supply-starved border army, first shattering their formations, killing General Su Jiao in combat, and forcing General Shi Jian to burn himself alive rather than face capture. The Qin lines crumbled. Wang Li, the proud commander of the Great Wall garrison, was taken prisoner in full view of his remaining troops. All the while, the allied rebel armies watched in stunned silence, until they could no longer deny the Qin's invincibility was a lie. They poured down from the hills to join the fight, turning the tide into a total rout of the Qin forces. Zhang Han, watching his army collapse, retreated his remaining 200,000 troops to Jiyuan, broken and demoralized. But his nightmare was only beginning. Back in the Qin capital, the tyrannical eunuch, Zhao Gao, controlled Emperor Shi and blamed every defeat on Zhang Han, threatening to execute him for failing to crush the rebellion. Zhang Han sent messengers to plead for mercy and reinforcements, but Zhao Gao refused to see them, leaving Zhang Han with no choice surrender to the rebels or return to Xiang to be executed. After months of desperate negotiation, Zhang Han and his 200,000 troops laid down their arms and surrendered to Xiang, marking the complete destruction of the Qin Empire's last military power. The Battle of Julu was not just a military victory, it was the irreversible death blow to the Qin dynasty. In a single brutal campaign, the Qin lost their 400,000-strong elite army, their most talented generals, and all ability to suppress the uprisings sweeping China. Within 2 years, the Qin capital, Xianyang, fell. The imperial family was exterminated, and China's first unified empire collapsed into dust. This battle redefined what courage and strategy could achieve against overwhelming odds, giving birth to the timeless idiom, break the cauldrons and sink the boats, to describe absolute, unwavering commitment to a cause. It also catapulted Xiang to legendary status, making him the dominant force in the post-Qin power struggle that would lead to the Chu-Han contention and the rise of the Han dynasty. What makes the Battle of Julu so enduringly powerful is its unflinching look at human nature and power. It exposes the rot at the heart of the Qin regime, tyranny, betrayal, and arrogance that turned even their own generals against them. It shows how a leader's will can transform a small outnumbered force into an unstoppable army, and how cowardice and political scheming can destroy even the mightiest empires. Every detail of this battle, from the sinking of the boats to the 9 bloody charges at Julu, is rooted in strict historical fact. From Sima Qian's records of the Grand Historian, the most authoritative source on ancient Chinese history. This is not myth or legend. It is a raw, true story of revolution, vengeance, and the moments when the people of China finally broke the chains of Qin oppression. The echoes of Julu resonate through every chapter of Chinese history that follows. It proved that no empire, no matter how powerful or brutal, can survive the united fury of a people pushed to the brink. It set the stage for 400 years of Han Dynasty rule, a golden age that shaped Chinese culture, governance, and identity for millennia. And it remains a timeless lesson in leadership that courage, resolve, and willingness to sacrifice everything can overcome even the most impossible odds. As we stand back from the smoke and blood of Julu, we see clearly this was not just a battle for a city. It was a battle for the soul of China, and the day the Qin Empire's dark reign ended forever. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient China, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more epic history. See you next time.